Hi everyone, Anthony Fantano here, the internet's busiest music nerd. I love you. I hope you're having a nice day. We're going to talk about a little music here in this new episode of the Why You Know Review, where I talk about a bunch of stuff that I didn't formally review in a full-length video, kind of all by itself, but now my paper fell on the floor, and I'm going to talk about a bunch of records just in a gauntlet that I didn't get a chance to review in that full-length style. I'm going to talk about them in brief here, just very brief, straightforward opinions. If any of my descriptions grab your attention, check these records out. I'm going to bend down, pick up this piece of paper, but I'm going to cut it right now so you don't see me doing that. The new Saor album. This is the second full-length LP from this black metal project named Saor. If you're into that new Panopticon record, which brought together bluegrass, folk music, and black metal, I think you should check out this record as well. Although what I've been hearing here, folk music-wise, seems much more informed by Celtic music, which is totally cool, totally fine. It's an interesting blend. Although I think some of the mixing, especially with that flute, like on the first song over here, is a little off. Which I kind of felt was an issue on the previous Panopticon record. If these mixing problems kind of end up getting smoothed out in future releases, I could see myself digging this project more. I guess I wasn't digging the chugging guitar tone, the heavy chug 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 of the guitars on this record either. I was much more attracted to the sort of thin and brittle and very melodic guitars on the Panopticon record. Not saying you have to like one project more than the other, or you can't like both projects. Just comparing it to something I have reviewed before on the channel. In case you have seen that review and you dig that record, then you might dig on this as well. The new Yob record, doom metal, psychedelic rock. It's kind of like another several years, another new Yob album. While I do like the fact that this band is heavy, to me their recordings, including this one, are typically just a little too muddy and a little lo-fi to eat up the subtleties of the playing that this trio does together. Not that there are that many subtleties, because it's not like there's like any sort of a melodic layering or anything like that. It's just sludgy, long-winded, repetitive heaviness for the most part. Not the heaviest thing I've ever heard, not the grooviest thing I've ever heard. They have had bigger records in the past, though not immensely larger records in terms of popularity. These guys are just like a solid doom metal band, and this record to me doesn't sound all that much different from their previous efforts in terms of composition and style. So, never really been a giant Yob fan, and there's not really anything on this new LP either that's making me make that transition either. The new Bones mixtape, prolific southern rapper Bones. I reviewed his last mixtape, and this new one, I like it, but all the things that held me back from loving his last mixtape are also holding me back a little bit here. A lot of the same issues, the brevity, as well as, just some of the songs not being that well structured, but there are some good standout tracks on here. It's just kind of a case of feeling roughly the same as I did on the last project, which isn't that surprising considering that Bones' last mixtape didn't come out that long ago, so it's not like he's had that much time to experiment, evolve, progress his sound into something completely different, and it seems that his fans really love his sound as is, so it's not like there's that much incentive for him to change, but I guess at the end of the day, just again, feeling roughly the same as I did on his last project, but it's still a decent mixtape. Look it up if you're looking for some dark southern hip-hop with sort of a 3-6 Mafia twist with some various vocal deliveries and a bit of singing. Just very dark, moody mixtape here. The new King 810 record. Not sure why a lot of people were begging me to review this. These guys are a Flint, Michigan band. They're a metal group. They have a thumbprint that kind of reads like a Slipknot cover band. Their sound just kind of sounds like quintessential 2000s nu metal. And everything in their sound reads that, from the chugging of the guitars to the really melodramatic and sometimes violent lyrics. The only thing that seems to make this band kind of buzzworthy is the fact that some people are just freaking out over how violent and freakish some of their live shows are. There are like images I've seen of like dudes holding AKs like on stage with them as they're performing. I mean, I guess it's a bit of a tough image thing, and I do realize and understand these guys come from a pretty nasty background, and that's totally cool, totally fine. If you're looking for some nu metal with a really aggressive twist, look into this record, I guess. The new Cymbals Eat Guitars record. This is kind of like indie rock reruns here. You know, I've heard Pavement, I've heard Built to Spill. If you've heard those two bands, you've heard this record. There's nothing that significantly new or interesting about this band in terms of their style or their sound or their songs, and it's not like the performances are completely mind-blowing either. It's just kind of another day, another average indie rock record. Still, at the end of the day, these guys do the genre justice. It's not like these are crappy indie rock songs. They're completely fine. They pass the bar. I would say just check this thing out if you really love the genre and just kind of can't get enough. The new Dilated Peoples record, famed underground hip-hop outfit DJ Babu, Evidence, Raka, and this latest record of theirs has been a while since their last full-length album, which was not anywhere near one of their best, but now they're back and they're coming out with a record that's just kind of okay. There's some good features on here. The production sounds a little dated, like a lot of it came from 2003, and it's not like Raka and Evidence are the most enthusiastic MCs in the world, and the underground is much more vibrant and aggressive and out there than it used to be back when Dilated Peoples were a much more significant group. So it's not like this is the most eye-widening album you're going to hear in hip-hop, unfortunately, this year. But still, if you're looking for some chill, laid-back, mean-muggin' rap music, then I'd say check this record out. The new Mascis record. This is the new solo album of Dinosaur Jr. frontman Mascis. I would say this album is really no more of a showstopper than his last full-length solo LP. I don't really see it carrying too far outside of the Dinosaur Jr. camp, which is kind of unfortunate because it is a sweet little singer-songwriter record. It's very relaxing. It's very organic. It's a very intimate record. I love Jay's incredibly weary voice. From what I can gather, there isn't too much structurally, vocally, melodically separating this record from a Dinosaur Jr. record, but this LP is still very nice for a lazy day. You're just chilling, enjoying yourself, and you want to put on something really pleasant in the background. The new Ariana Grande record. Whew! Quite a few people asked me to review this. Ariana Grande, I don't really have an issue with her. I don't think she's terrible. I don't think she's incredibly exciting either. There are some singles from this LP that I liked, such as Problem. I think it's a really great single. I think it's put together really well. I love the sax riff on this song. Plus, anybody who puts A$AP Ferg on their record definitely gets some positive attention from me, even though the Big Sean appearance on this LP kind of cancels that out, but I digress. There's some trendy crap on here, but there's some very good and fun tunes on here too, and I have to celebrate every time a pop singer who can actually sing breaks the mainstream too. In my opinion, there's nothing really wrong about liking and caring about Ariana Grande, but I'm not going to come on here in this video and pretend I do. The new White Fence record, produced by Ty Segall. If you are into garage rock, 60s psychedelic pop, then I would check this record out. But a lot like that Cymbals Eat Guitars record, there's nothing too much separating this album from much of the music that came out in that era. There are so many groups now, so many artists that are so good at nostalgia, they're just kind of recapturing the sound of the artists that inspire them and not doing that much more in terms of just honing their own sound or just penning some good tunes. It really is kind of a bland listen, though I do think this is the most coherent and best recorded record I've heard White Fence on so far. Typically, the music of White Fence, especially on studio album, has been very disjointed and out there and kind of oddball. It's what I think brought an incredible amount of flavor to the full-length collaboration Ty and White Fence did before the release of this record, so I was pretty excited to hear what they would do together on this album right here. And I'm just utterly surprised that the final result here is just kind of humdrum. And finally, the new Kimbra record. This is the latest full-length album from New Zealand singer-songwriter and pop singer Kimbra, and I was looking forward to it after I heard her record Vows. There were quite a few songs on that record that I thought were great. She was most definitely, unquestionably, a pop singer, but she had some idiosyncratic qualities about her voice. She was kind of eccentric. She was a little out there. She had personality. And there is some strangeness and there is some personality on this latest record of hers too, but I don't think her pop sensibility comes out as strong. Some of the songs on this LP are just really cluttered and kind of incoherent, messy, and just not that pleasurable to listen to. Like one of the first songs that came out from this record, 90s Music. Oh, I hated this song when it first came out. And though I do appreciate its oddity a little bit more in the context of this record, I feel like I'm listening to a trap remix of a Battles Iconopop mashup. The Frankenstein chorus on the song here is absolutely horrific as well. There are some nice tracks on here and there. The song Miracle has a bit of a soul and disco vibe to it. The track Goldmine has a bit of a down-tempo flavor. This album as a whole, like many of the songs here, with the incredibly flamboyant multi-tracked vocals, is just very all over the place. And not in like a really fun, amazing, off-the-wall Ween kind of way. It's just like I'm listening to pop music that has no attention span. And that is this month's Why You Know review. Transition, if you've given any of these records a listen, what did you think of them? Did you love them? Did you hate them? Why? What do you think I should review next? And that's it. Anthony Fantano, Why You Know review, forever.